Welcome everyone to the Circle of Debate podcast top 5 picks of the week. But this is not also a Circle of Debate podcast. This is also a straight talk wrestling podcast. This is also Championship on the Line podcast. Let me go ahead and introduce myself, the host of Devious One, Ivan C, here with my brother from another mother, el director, the one and only Chris Kennedy, ladies and gentlemen. And today we are joined by two other incredible podcasters. Mis hermanos, these are mi familia, la familia right here, the faction of the League of Extraordinary Podcast. Let me introduce George Mckay from Straight Talk Wrestling. How are you, brother?
Great to be back again. Circle Debate. I love it. I love the show. Chris and I got past our beef. He understands Canadians don't talk like that. And I appreciate that he's not a full-blown inbred. So we have gotten past it. We have moved on. Almost
second cousins, not third, not first cousins.
That's right. So, always glad to be back here with the Devious One and my boy Chris Kennedy holding it down, and championship on the line. You guys are awesome. You're like what, 17 years old each?
So they're from Rancho Cucamonga. These are the younger bucks.
Oh, younger bucks. Okay.
The younger bucks.
Oh, well, we're not balding yet.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm not balding either. It's just sitting in the front. You try having two daughters, bro. It ain't fucking easy. Okay.
I think that was a Jackson. I think that was a Jackson joke.
Yes.
Not a
yes.
joke.
Not to
Oh,
you.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, right. Yeah.
I got to jump in front of that bullet.
Yeah, Nick Jackson's got the I like to call it the Shawn Michaels mullet going. You know, it's all party in the back and it ain't nothing in the front.
And also we do have the Modest of Pain. That is right. We have Richard and Alex Modest from the Championship on the Line podcast. A former Typology world champion. That's right. Me, the world Typology champion, bro. And it'll be still. So remind
Just
you.
keep talking.
We can't wait till the next one. I cannot wait. And I'm gonna hear and still Typology world champion, brother.
Be the shortest reign ever.
Oh,
I like
The
it.
first title
He's got
defense,
some
you
fire.
lose.
we'll see. 261. We'll see. We'll see.
I defended it 3 times. You are
the Stipe of the Topology Championship. That's for sure.
That's for sure. All right, ladies and gentlemen, since it's WrestleMania weekend coming up, so we decided to go ahead and do our top 5 WrestleMania matches. It could be obviously from the past, from the recent ones,
from the future.
No future, no future, bro. We got to book the dream matches from Mania? No. But I can say this was a very difficult task, very difficult top 5, and obviously with honorable mentions because there's so many. But we're not also focusing on the main events of WrestleMania, we're also focusing in the card as well at WrestleMania, because there's a lot of sleepers there that people are not familiar with that has not been spoken about. So now let me go to the wheel to see who goes first here on their top 5. Let me share my screen for 1 minute.
I do that Price is Right shit.
But you ain't one of them girls, bro. You ain't
Oh my God, here we go. Let's see.
Come on, big money, no whammy.
Alex.
Damn it.
The former
Who's the first one now?
Yeah, you're always first one, bro.
Alphabetical.
By the way, you gotta change that name because like I kind of get jealous when everyone has like such nicknames. Like you have the Devious and Director, and then Matt's like Steamboat. I need my own name too, man.
Former champion.
You want previously known as the champ?
Former champ?
Former champ? Is that what it's
Well, that's
Alex,
MMA. That's MMA.
I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna do my best Bruce Buffer right now, and I'm gonna introduce you. Okay, hang on a second.
Oh, okay.
I'm glad we're
And now, coming to the ring, the former champion of the world, Alex, still hitting puberty.
Oh my gosh. Freaking, I'm 24, man.
24?
Yeah.
Shit, man, I got facial hair older than you. Let's go.
The floor's yours, Alex.
All right. This was a hard one. This is a hard list to put, especially with top 5. I'm gonna go with the first one. I'm gonna pick. Let's see. Number 5. I'm gonna pick Shawn Michaels, which is Ric Flair. WrestleMania 24. Especially, this was Ric Flair's last match, which was awesome. Especially, with the whole ending too, with Shawn Michaels saying, I'm sorry, and he kicks him and he ends it, which was an awesome match. especially the way he ended on top, especially in WrestleMania, was a great match. So yeah, I'll pick that 5. Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, WrestleMania 24.
Did not retire though. He just left WWE, went to TNA and wrestled.
Yeah, pretty much. Had a whole run there.
Had a woo battle with Jay Lethal.
Woo! Oh my God,
that was pretty
best. Epic, man, epic. Loved it. Go ahead, Adam.
What do you guys think about that too? Ric Flair's TNA run.
I liked it.
Really? Okay.
I liked it because why? Because the fact that especially with Jay Lethal, the feud, that was one of my favorites, I could say. But then the Mick Foley, Ric Flair is all right. But even though it was so oversold, it was all right. I was kind of more skeptical on the Fortune faction. I was like, I don't know. It was okay. It wasn't like,
yeah.
I don't know. That's the only thing I liked about him being a TNA. That was it.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. With number 4, I'm gonna go with Bret Hart and Owen Hart. WrestleMania 10.
Damn you.
That's
Oh, does that mean it's off the plate? Like I can't use that too?
No, you can't.
No, you can. You can.
That's
Fuck,
not
gave me a
a
heart attack. I was about to say, fuck this, I'm out. Done.
I was gonna put. It's crazy because I was gonna put this at number 2, but I don't know. I think going over. I think I'm gonna put this number 4. It was really. I mean, talk about tech. It doesn't get technical than that. I mean, both of them, really great match, and especially the storyline too. Both of them with the rivalry, and yeah, it was really great match. It's one of my favorite matches. So yeah, I'll go Bret versus Owen, and I think Owen won that match, right?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, Owen won.
Good.
So yeah. So yeah, we'll go with that one too. So number 4, Bret versus Owen Hart, WrestleMania 10. And then number 3, I'm gonna go with, this is one I watched as a kid, and it's probably one of my favorite ones. It'll be Eddie Guerrero versus Kurt Angle.
Oh, nice.
Was that 20, right?
Yeah, 20.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, that one, watching it as a kid, a big fan of Eddie Guerrero. That match was awesome. I was watching it as a kid too. It was pretty insane, especially the way he won too, especially like he rolled him up with the boot coming off. Like it was, living his character like cheat steal. So, go with that one. So yeah, number 3, Guerrero versus Angle, WrestleMania 20. And then number 2, go with The Rock versus Hulk Hogan, WrestleMania 18. Got the 2 biggest icons, wrestling against each other, and especially the crowd, especially like watching it through your TVs. You can hear the crowd, especially they haven't even wrestled yet, especially at the beginning where they're just staring down and freaking crowds going crazy just because of that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the crowd was going insane that night, and that match lived up the hype. So I'm gonna go with that one. Rock versus Hogan, WrestleMania 18. So that's number 2, and then number 1. I'm gonna go with the classic WrestleMania 3, Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant. Just knowing the history on that, especially with Andre at the time, he was having so much back pain that he couldn't even, move right in the ring, and especially Hulk didn't even know what was the ending gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's so crazy. Like he didn't even know if he was gonna win or not, and especially Andre, just slamming, just pretty much in charge of the match, especially couldn't even move right. So, and then the body slam, which is still talked to this day, which is historic, and Hulk Hogan at winning that night. And yeah, I'm gonna go for number 1. I think this match is gonna be talked for years to come, especially 50 years from now. People are still gonna be talking about it. So, Hulk versus Andre.
Maybe 100 years, 1,000 years from now.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Unfortunately.
So yeah, Hulk versus Andre.
Any honorable mentions?
I didn't do honorable mentions. I just did my.
That's all good.
That's all good. That's all good.
There's not a lot of rules to this, so don't worry about it.
No, it's not a lot of rules. All right. Now let's go back to the wheel, see who's next. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Damn it, man. Why? Son of a bitch.
Easy. Sponsored by BMW. Oh, I'd love to get a BMW sponsorship on here. That'd be sick.
Oh, this is a tough one for me, but okay. It's very, very tough because I'm not even fucking done with my list, but I'll have it in my head. Okay.
You do it.
All right. Number 5, because I like the fact of how the story was told and how it was a reunion. And I think that was the first time we ever see like an emotional time for the first time in WWF, like as in a couples type of style, and that is when it was the Macho Man versus Ultimate Warrior on the career versus career match, WrestleMania 7. That's when we saw the first time the crowd crying. The reunion with Miss Elizabeth. It was an emotional moment. That one did really hit, and I even let the missus know, like, look, this could have been us, like she was like, okay, all right, but she don't like it, so she doesn't like it, bro. Can't pressure her, like, hey, watch this. All right. I can't. But she knows that I'm watching. She goes to the living room, and that's it. All right. Number 4, you said it, Brett versus Owen, WrestleMania 10. Valid points about the storylines, absolutely, especially it was a younger brother versus older brother. The fact that the younger brother won the match and then still has jealousy because later on Brett won the championship at that WrestleMania against Yokozuna. And so that later was that night, right? Yeah, later that night. And that was when Owen was, by the stage, like, by the entrance, was looking at Brett like, you fucking ass, I still hate you. But, that's just the jealousy that it was a great story between both of them. And I like the fact how you said that the technicality of the match, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There was a lot of technicality of that, most definitely. That was like your shoot wrestling WrestleMania for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely. Number 3, people slept on this one. I feel because the match was great. Not it wasn't like the best, but it's never mentioned because a lot of people thought that she was going to win. Even I thought it too.
Oh, I like where this is going.
And this is Trish Stratus, Lita, and Jazz at WrestleMania. People forgot about that. And it was in Jazz, I respect so much for Jazz, for her career, because in what she brought into WWF at the time, or WE at the time. And yes, this was actually not a bad triple threat match, but I was cheering for Trish. Like, yes, I wanted Trish to win. But somehow, some way, Jazz fucking retained. I'm like, what? Even me as a teenager, I was like, what's up with that? I'm like, what? Like, Jesus, man.
It wasn't that match before the main event too?
I believe it was. Yeah. I believe it was.
Is that back
at that point? That was the highest women had been up.
Yeah, the height.
Yeah, agreed.
Women had been up the card. So yeah, you're right. It was like the undercard main event.
Yes, absolutely. Number 2. I like the story. Yeah, I love the story and the fact that I'm glad it ended. But everybody talks about the number 2 match. The number 1 match was better. That was Taker HBK 25. That first one. The second one was great, but I feel that the first one was the one that it was like, oh my God, we haven't seen these guys in the ring since what, 98? 1-on-1. It's like shit. It's been so long, and they put. Man, Jesus. And then that suicide dive, whoever that cameraman was, you're about to get. I'm pretty sure he got fired because of what he didn't catch Taker on time.
Oh, I know, dude. I still have.
He didn't catch him on time.
Like, even right now, Taker's head is going straight down.
It had to be someone, obviously.
He threw himself from like 30 feet, considering the velocity and the air he got from the ring to the floor, dude. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Who is it? Wasn't that Snuka's son? The camera guy? That was
that him? Because I never knew who it was.
Domino. The guy that was from Deuce and Domino.
Oh, okay.
That was Snuka's son. Yeah,
really?
He's the one that he botched it.
Oh my
God.
That's why he's no longer around.
Right? There you go. Yeah. Who? I don't know. Who are you? All right. My number 1, and I cannot stop watching it because I love the whole plot. And not only that, but it shocked the world of that match. And of course, that's my number 1 to go. That is Austin The Rock, WrestleMania 17, when Austin turned heel in his hometown. And that, when it shook the hell out of me. What?
What?
But oh my God, yeah, that match itself was great. Great storytelling. Was expecting Austin to win clean, but did not expect to see Vince out there. At first, in my first time watching it as a teenager, I was like, okay, wait a minute. Okay, so Rock's turning heel again? What's going on over here? And then seeing Austin turning heel shook me. I was just looking at my, look at my brother. What the fuck just happened? Oh my God. But it was the greatest heel turn for Austin. And it is an unfortunate happening in his hometown. But why? Who cares? Why not? Shit, fuck it. It was a great risk that they did. And I loved it. And a great story. Especially that Lemon Biscuit promo. That shit, fucking awesome. I loved it. And that song itself, of course. Much love, Lemon Biscuit. All right. Honorable mentions. I have two. I think this is that would be the opening match for 21. That's Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio. Wasn't like how back in the old days, like WCW, like the Halloween Havoc that this most talked about. But at least this match delivered, and it was a great opening match to start the whole show. And it was great. So I got to give it to them. And of course, I love Rey Mysterio. Eddie as well, another one of my personal favorites. But it was a great storytelling, and that was the first time correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen. I think that was the first time two tag team champions going at it one-on-one. I'd never seen that in WWE. Someone as their champs, no, right? Ever?
I can almost get bet that that's not the first time.
I don't know about that. I think that he may be on point. I may have to get a fact checker on here. I'm sure someone will comment in the YouTube comments below, but I feel like that was the first time when you're carrying the gold at the time and you're facing each other. That I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
Not that I can remember.
Yeah.
I can't. I've never considered thinking about that answer.
right. And my other honorable mention will be, of course, the one that is always talked about, and that is TLC 2. Oh my God. Who does not love that match? Jesus. That was the first time we see Edge jumping off the ladder, spearing Jeff Hardy. I was the edge of my seats when I saw that shit.
Unintended. That was on what? What was that? 17 or was
17.
that 2017, right?
17, yes.
Yeah.
17. Oh, I can't wait for the next top 5. The next one's going to be all just like top 5 best WrestleMania pay-per-views. So make sure you tune up. Yeah. Because that one, that's another tough one. But I can literally say right now, one of them is 17 was like my favorite WrestleManias because the whole card was stacked, and it delivered. It delivered. So yeah, those are my lists. Let's go back to the wheel and let's see who goes next. That's right. That's right. Here we go. Mr. Mckay, the floor is yours.
Oh, thank you. The Devious One. You know what? My number 5 may surprise a lot of people, but it was one of my personal favorites. It was a dream match of mine for a long time. And when he came over from TNA Impact, this was a storyline. As soon as I saw them running with it, I thought it was going to be epic. AJ Styles, Chris Jericho, WrestleMania 32. This match to me is all around technical, all around story. I had a Y2 AJ shirt. I'm not gonna lie. I still have it somewhere. I don't know where the fuck it is right at this minute, but I was trying to pull it out for this, but couldn't find it in time. But yeah, this was one of my personal favorite matches. Again, a dream match of mine. AJ Styles, Chris Jericho, never to be seen before, never to be seen again. This was hands down one of the reasons that WrestleMania 32 holds a special place in my heart, because the story that was told in the ring that night, so early up the card, this was a match that I believe set the tone. And I still believe to this day, you go back and watch any other match on 32, it does not compare to the story that was laid down between those two guys on that night. And they were both at the top of their game on that night. They were on and on point, and it was fantastic. And yeah, okay, Jericho with the little shady, hide behind the ref till he caught the phenomenal forearm into the code breaker. Like, go back and watch that shit.
Yeah, that was good.
How we caught in midair. It's kind of like an RKO out of nowhere, but instead of an RKO, it was 2 knees to your face. Like, it was just incredible. And that's the way to go out for sure. Number 4 is first time as a kid. I literally was glued to the TV, and it was so glued to the TV, especially when it went into sudden death. That's a hint for y'all that I couldn't even go to the bathroom. I'm talking WrestleMania 12, Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart in the Iron Man match. You want to talk wrestling 101? The next 4 matches that I'm going to lay out are, if I ran a wrestling school, my first 4 lessons would be sit down, shut up, and watch these matches. Watch them, study them, and then we're going to all reenact them. Shawn Michaels versus Bret is one of those 4. storyline wise, bringing in your emotions. It was the first time that I didn't know who to cheer for, because as a kid, they were both my favorites. Being from Canada, Bret Hart always holds a special place in every Canadian wrestling fan's heart. And then Shawn Michaels, he was the new edgy kid. Wasn't a fan of chaps, but when he wore them, I wanted to wear them too. But you know what? Like, this is a match that, like I said, technical ability counts for a lot for me. And this is why for a long time I didn't give a shit about the promos, because for me it wasn't about talking the talk, it was about walking the walk. And that night these guys delivered. And then Gorilla Monsoon coming out in those 1980 porno shades. That's kind of it was great, man. It was great. So that's my number 4 for sure. Number 3, again, is another technical wrestling match. Bret versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, WrestleMania 13, the infamous bloody face. He did not tap out. He just passed out. Ken Shamrock with his bulging arms as the special guest referee.
Do you give up?
Do you give up? Yeah, super
whole match. That's all he did.
Yeah, super intense. Just hands down one of the greatest matches, and ultimately leads to the Bret Hart heel turn, which we never really saw again, because he was a face forever. That, like, when it became finally time for him to be a heel, he looked uncomfortable in his own skin. But still, this match is something that it's one of those matches where you literally see characters turn. Stone Cold was supposed to be the heel. Bret was supposed to be the face. By the end of the night, we have a complete 360. And it's one of those matches that technical ability, again, counts. At the time, Stone Cold was great on the mic. Always is, always will be. Bret Hart, on the other hand, let's be honest, you look at any of Bret Hart's promos, the only reason back in the day the Hart Foundation got over was because of Jim the Anvil Neidhart. He was the mouthpiece for the Hart Foundation.
Yes.
Shout out to Jim, the rest in peace. But this match is, again, technical ability counts for me. Number 2, this is a hard one for me, but again, technical ability counts. You mentioned WrestleMania 3. You mentioned Hogan and Andre. Great match, but that's not the match that holds a place in my heart. No, it's Macho Man Steamboat that holds a place in my heart.
Thank you for putting that on there.
This match is literally hands down. This will be the first tape I pop in for people to watch and pay attention. Go back, watch the story that unfolded that night, and it's never been done again. This was an Iron Man match for Iron Man matches were Iron Man matches. This was 33 minutes long, and these two went. The prime of their careers, it put Steamboat on the map, and it made Macho Man a legend already in a career that was spiraling legendary status anyways. But this is the match. A lot of people associate him with all the other matches that he had. Ultimate Warrior, WrestleMania 7, you mentioned it, streak for our career versus career. But for me, 3 I could sit down and watch through and through, pop out the tape, rewind it. I rewound it so much, I faded away half of the tape because I rewound that fucking cassette so many times. And for you two young guys that don't know, a cassette is a VHS about this.
We know what a cassette is.
We know.
But yeah, Steamboat versus Macho Man, WrestleMania 3. Hell yeah, that's my number 2. And my number 1, I've stated it in every thing that I've done. I am Canadian through and through. I'm an Owen Hart guy my entire life. Bret versus Owen, brother versus brother, WrestleMania 10. Number 1 all time for me. WrestleMania 10 is my favorite WrestleMania, and it's one that I will go back to all the time. Whenever WrestleMania season starts around, it doesn't start around for me till the wife and I sit down to watch WrestleMania 10. How this match was the opening match on the night, I get why, storyline-wise, because he had to fight Yokozuna later on. But still, this match should have been way down the card. In my opinion, if I was booking WrestleMania 10, I would have made this match the last match for the main event and had Bret face Owen after he had that battle with, or Bret face Yokozuna after he had the battle with Owen. I would have put this match way deeper in the card just because I would have wanted to see, this is Bret Hart at his peak. He can go 2 matches back to back. He could have then, not now, but then he definitely could have. And Bret versus Owen, number 1 all time for me. And the fact that Owen won, at the end, I hated Bret. When Bret won the title, I hated him. And I hated him just like Owen hated him. But then when Owen left, I again, Bret Hart. I mean, you can't talk about Owen without Bret. And it's a shame because I always felt Owen never got the push. And after WrestleMania 10, he should have. They should have had him go at Bret for the title multiple times. And he should have eventually taken the title from Bret, and they should have let Owen helm the company.
Yeah.
Even if it was for a short reign. I mean, fuck, they let Sasha Banks hold the belt for an hour and still count it as a title reign. Why couldn't Owen have done the same shit, 20 some odd years ago?
I agree.
Honorable mentions, Devious One called it, TLC 2, WrestleMania 17. This was the height of the hardcore, world. ECW was just on fire. WWE was trying to compete, and you can't compare the gritty and grimy realism of ECW with the polished product of WWE. They make everything look good. They made you want to take a chair shot, jump off the ladder, jump through a table, and then grow your hair out long so you can just pull an Edge Christian and go, oh, It made you want to do that. And another honorable mention. I actually have two more honorable mentions.
Go for it.
Shawn Michaels versus Taker, WrestleMania 25. That's another honorable mention. It was a toss-up between that and AJ Styles, but my heart just leaned to AJ Styles Jericho for my number 5. And another one is Trish Stratus versus Mickie James. I believe it was WrestleMania, I want to say 22. 22,
yes.
Yeah, I think it was 22.
22.
It's
yes.
when Mickie James was like the psycho stalker. She would come out all smiles and shit.
Yeah.
And it's when she kind of stole the title from Trish.
Yeah.
And I love that match. I really, really do love that match. And it's underrated because I don't think Mickie James gets a lot of credit. A lot of people mentioned about WWE, there was only 2 or 3 women in that time period, Trish and Lita being 1 and 2, that helmed that division. People sleep on Molly Holly. They sleep on Mickie James. They sleep on Jazz, had a decent run in WWE at that time. They sleep on a lot. Ivory was also there at that time.
Victoria, another one too.
Yeah.
The list go on.
Yeah, they sleep on a lot of women in that time period, but that's actually a time period where as wrestling fans, we were spoiled. The only thing people remember from that time period is fucking Jerry the King Lawler's ex-wife showing her titties after the
Oh
match.
my god!
I knew where you were going with that one.
Yeah, well, come on, puppies, dude. You see those puppies every night, motherfucker. If that was my wife, I'd be wanting to cover her up. Nobody else sees her puppies but me. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Exactly.
And that's why you got divorced like 18
Yep.
times. But yeah, that's my list. And it was a challenge to do this, man. But
Right?
a lot of it came naturally. But yeah, once I got past those top 3, 4 and 5 were a struggle. And then to put the honorable mentions, I had to rewrite my list like 6 times. I'm like, nah, maybe it should go up there, maybe it shouldn't. I look like fucking somebody trying to solve a murder. Red strings.
Sylvia.
It was insane. It was exhausting. It was like Colonel Mustard in the fucking library with AJ Styles and Jericho, and then Professor Plums on the fucking concern. Oh, this is exhausting.
Oh my
Exhausting.
god! Clue.
Thanks for putting me through the ringer, Ivan.
Hey, we were all put through this shit, so it was really fucking hard. It was hard, believe me, because we all have plenty of Mania matches that we love, but it's a tough list. I would say about your list, you're absolutely right. I did sleep on the HBK and Brett. I had that in my mind, but I totally forgot about that one and the Austin and Brett one. I could say that match, and also I would say also even 3 matches that solidified a lot of people's careers at the following year. We had the Macho Man winning at WrestleMania 4, winning the tournament, winning the championship. You had Michaels now going over, and then Brett as well going over, and then you have Austin solidifying his career a year later, Mania 14 winning the WWF Championship. So I'm with you 100%. Love your list. And I forgot about fucking AJ and Jericho. That's another one. Shit. And I'm an AJ fan. Come on.
All right, I'll take over hosting duties. Let's go. Put up the wheel. Ivan's off the show now.
There you go. All right. Let's see. Here we go.
Come on, inbred hillbilly. Hey!
Oh my gosh.
Almost.
Saving Chris for last, man.
Ooh.
Go for it.
All right, so we'll go number 5. Let's see. The reason why I picked this because I remember I was in the 4th grade. It was 2004. It was March 14th. It was my birthday.
35.
It was March 14th, 2004. All I wanted for my birthday was WrestleMania, and I got it. And the first match was John Cena versus Big Show for the U.S. title.
Okay.
And the reason why I picked that was John Cena's first WrestleMania. He was, before that he was kind of having trouble when he started in the WWE, finding his character. And once he did, look what he did. Yeah, obviously with his Word Life original, entrance song. I loved it. And when I was, a kid, it was called the FU, not the AA, whatever that bullshit is.
I liked it better when it was called FU.
FU. That was the answer to
We're
Brock Lesnar's
PG
F5.
now, gentlemen. Forget
Yeah.
we're PG. Except
And
us.
guys exactly. And guys don't know that. Guys my age that used to watch it as a kid when I was growing up, I'm like, oh, it's called AA. And they all have like this disgusted look in their face. Like, what do you mean it's AA? It was FU. So
F you, sir. What do you mean F me?
Yeah.
F you.
F you. Exactly. And he did the FU on Big Show, 1, 2, 3, first WrestleMania, became US champion, and I don't know where he went from there. I mean,
Right to JBL.
Yeah.
JBL pretty much the next year, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
He dropped the US to
There you
Carlito,
go.
and then went the next year went
That
to
was
winning.
another great match.
Oh,
Yeah.
now that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, his debut. And one of the best debuts, I think, Carlito winning it in Boston, in John Cena's hometown.
Oh yeah, great run
It's a
for him.
great-
Hopefully we'll see him
yeah.
back. Hopefully.
Hopefully. And number 4, I'm gonna go with Lesnar and Angle, WrestleMania 19. Which you knew the buildup was great, and then we knew the shooting star press, which he botched. And he's done it multiple times actually in OVW.
Failed it in OVW for sure. Like
yeah, he was landing it when he was partners with Benjamin. I mean, he was doing it in OVW like nothing. So he botched here, and then Angle goes out because he has another injury. But let's just talk about how machine Angle is. He goes his injury, comes back, and then before that, correct me if I'm wrong, I think he even injured himself his tailbone when he faced McMahon in that match, Shane McMahon.
You mean King of the Ring?
King of the Ring, yeah. So he hindered himself there. We knew he won the Olympics with a broken freaking neck. I mean, this guy is a machine. So for him to still continue on that match, even Lesnar ended that match looked like he was dazed and confused. And it was pretty.
Always
it was
looks
kind of
dazed and confused.
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of a cluster F of a match, but it was still a great match overall. So that one's always stuck to me. And then number 3, I'm gonna go with, obviously, Flair versus Michaels, WrestleMania 24. Goodbye, I love you.
The memories.
I mean, I would think I was already in high school, so I was starting to go my UFC MMA phase, but I had to go back and watch that match. And I'm man enough to admit it, I cried too when I saw that. I was like, no, this is the ending. Obviously, it comes back in TNA. You guys mentioned that earlier, but
It's my line. It's my line. That's my line. Woo!
Woo! Woo! And then the crazy thing about it, I was talking to my dad about it. Flair has had such a long career, kind of remind me like now Chris Jericho. He's wrestled so many kids' childhoods. He's wrestled with my dad. My dad is 55. My dad as a kid remembers seeing Flair when he was like 10, 11, wrestling in WCW and, whatever companies back then. And then me, because it was a little before my time, and then me watching him in Evolution with, in my opinion, one of the greatest factions, with Orton, Batista, and Triple H. Yeah. And he was still kicking ass in WWE.
I agree.
I mean, obviously legend. And then number 2, I'm gonna go with WrestleMania 20 also with Eddie Guerrero versus Kurt Angle. Obviously, like Alex was saying, I think that was a match where his boot came off and then he ended up getting the win. From there, it was a great angle there. And then let's see, number 1, I'm gonna go Mania 22. Angle versus Orton versus Mysterio.
Explain. I'm curious now.
The reason why, obviously, Mysterio, prior to that, won the Royal Rumble, eliminating Orton. So that was a big. They're kind of pushing him, after Guerrero's death, that he was going to win the championship. I thought for a second it would have been great to see maybe Chavo Guerrero get some shine.
Everybody says that.
Which I thought, and he didn't. I mean, I think he's so underrated. I mean, he could do a lot what Eddie Guerrero did. I mean, obviously, he could wrestle. I know sometimes his mic skills were lacking a little bit, but I think Chavo could have done it. Yeah, that was a big issue. But nonetheless, Mysterio gets it. And also, Mysterio doesn't have the best mic skills either. I just think he had exactly. Yeah, he doesn't get great mic skills also, but he has that underdog story. He's a small guy. We all know that. When he was a champion, look at the cruiserweight guy at the time. I think it was Gregory Helms. Even Gregory Helms was like, I was a cruiserweight, and he was a heavyweight champion. I was like a foot taller than him, and I was a cruiserweight champion. So I remember that always stuck to my head. The cruiserweight champ was bigger than him at the time. But anyways, yeah, he ended the match. Angle goes for the angle slam. He reverses it, counters it, throws him out of the ring. Then Mysterio hits the 619 to Orton, and then does one of the most beautiful West Coast pops of all time.
Oh yeah,
sells it, just swings himself through it. Oh, it was so good. It was just amazing. When I saw him, he sold it so well. And gets 1, 2, 3. Everyone was emotional, and he becomes champion.
I can say you're right about that. I like how Orton did sell it because he did for sure. For a tall guy like himself,
he swung his body so well.
To add on that, what sucks about Chavo not being a part of that, and no disrespect to Mysterio, but is also I was if you guys remember that they got him. He just really got out of that Kerwin White or Wright, whatever the hell that character he did.
I don't remember that.
Oh my God! I mean, they just when that happened with Eddie, the past season, then they immediately got that storyline erased. I don't even know why they put him there in the first place. Like, what the
It was
fuck?
so
Like,
dumb.
why would you? What's up with that? Why would you put Chavo as like that's insulting to me.
Anyway,
Jesus,
Yeah.
chingada madre, man.
Yo de puta maricón.
Tú dile, paisano. Tú dile, hermano. Yeah. But yes, any honorable mentions?
Yeah, another barn burner, Gonzalez versus Undertaker in Mania 9. No, I was kidding. No, just kidding.
Hell
I'm
no.
just playing. No. I'm just playing.
I was about to say, dude, your list was fire, and then you said Gonzalez.
are we on Swerved right now? Is Swerved season 5?
I got to pick. I didn't want to put his name in here. That's why I put Arnold mentioned was Mania 20. Also Benoit, Triple H, Michaels.
But we're going professionally. Remind our viewers as well.
I mean, I'm sorry.
But go ahead, continue.
And then last minute, I believe it was last year's Mania, Flair versus Ripley. I thought that was a great women's match. Yeah.
I wish it could have been better.
Yeah.
I wish it could have been better.
My memory serves, it was pretty one-sided though, right? Like there wasn't a whole lot of convincing that Ripley was going to win that. But my memory.
Yeah, but Flair was just getting the push because she's Flair. And no disrespect to Charlotte Flair. She's great. She's a great talent. She is solidified Hall of Fame career, and what she's done with the women's division during part of Evolution, she really, really, really has raised the game of all the ladies in the division. But the fact of the matter remains is that she was hiding in her dad's shadow for so long. She still uses the dad stuff. She comes out wearing the same robes he did. People were more excited to see what robe she'd wear because they want to know what part of the robe was from which robe he wore back in the fucking day.
Right. That's the metal remix.
Exactly. And the strut, the woo, it's like, I wish she would really have stepped away from her dad's shadow and found Charlotte Flair herself. Not, okay, your last name is Flair. You're pretty much going to be the female version of your dad. Every once in a while, you're going to leave 6 months to get your tits topped up, and then you'll come back and we'll give you the title again.
Yeah.
Like large, medium, small,
at least,
extra, I don't know. Yeah.
At least with David Flair, he went like the psycho, tired of being David Flair gimmick for a while, which I thought was kind of cool. Where he was kind of an early version of Sebastian Shaw. Is that his name? Derek. An early version of that character, which was cool.
Exactly, but did anybody side note? That David Flair does not look like Ric Flair at all.
No, he does not.
Suspect to the fact that I don't think that that's his kid, but paternity tests weren't around back then, so I guess we can't really figure that out for sure. Every other Flair looks like Rick, and then there's David who looks like fucking Quasimodo met a crack baby. It's just fucked up. Really is.
He looks like a Paul brother. He looks like Jake Paul's dad or some shit.
Actually, no, I'm not even gonna lie, man. He's got a little Paul Bear in him. I think Ric Flair might have been sleeping around with the Undertaker.
What was the old line? She had one leg in Kansas, one leg in Memphis, or something like that. Dude,
I think his ex-wives had one leg everywhere. Shit, who knows? We all might have fucked her, not even knowing, except for you two. You weren't even born yet.
Any more on them? That's it.
Oh, that was it. Yeah.
All right.
That was it.
Good shit. I love your list. Very interesting. Yeah, but I'm glad you kind of explained the story for the number one. That's why I'm like, wait, what? Well, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay.
As you can see, I put Angle 3 times in those WrestleManias.
I know, right?
All right. With that, the dude's a playbook, man. Seriously, there's a career there you want to study and pay attention to. It's Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
I mean,
even in TNA.
You did mention he was always consistent with his injuries, but lest we forget, Percocet's a great motherfucking best friend when you
Percocets. Yeah, Percocets.
You know, there was a lot of drug runs in there that were hush hush, especially when he left WWE because Vince wanted him to take time off and rehab properly, get neck surgery. He refused to. Goes to TNA and he's all jacked up, and half the time he looked like Shawn Michaels, one eye's facing one way, one eye's facing the other way, just because of the simple fact that he was stoned out of his fucking mind. His matches were great, but I bet you any money, if you go back and ask Kurt Angle about any of those matches in TNA, he won't remember shit.
No, he won't. You can listen to him on his podcast now that he has with Conrad Thompson. So, yeah, he doesn't really remember much.
I won't. I find Angle, like, when Angle talks, it's like watching paint dry. It's not entertaining anymore.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It is unfortunate that, how he went out for his retirement in WWE. But,
Barry fucking Corbin.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, it was so bad.
It was so bad.
Garbage.
I mean, I really wanted. Honestly, people. I'm pretty sure a lot of people talked about it. They wanted Cena. I would not be. I would not be mad at all if that happened because it makes sense.
We all know the original angle was supposed to be Jason Jordan, right?
Yeah, that was the original angle.
Was supposed to be the illegitimate bastard son, which again looks nothing like Angle. And paternity tests are relevant now, motherfuckers. Like, why wasn't Chad Gable his kid? Chad Gable would have been a little bit.
He was an Olympian too.
Exactly, and the storyline fit there. But what do they do now? We got I don't even know. Is Shorty G still a fucking thing? And if it is, why is it a thing?
Terrible.
now it's Gable now. Gable.
Oh, it's just Gable now? Well,
Gable.
Who gives a flying fuck?
Gable and Otis.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. That doofus is still floating around?
Yeah, they're a tag team.
I didn't know that. Are they called slightly not so heavy machinery?
No.
Oh shit. Damn. Is that like they should just call them Bud Light. Like they're half the calories, but still the same great taste. I don't know if that makes. I don't know. And like fuck, and just have Mandy Rose come out with a bikini because fuck, for somebody who was supposed to be the next great fucking woman, she ain't done jack shit. And Sonya Deville, I don't know what's going on with her either. Like they butchered all these great builds that they had. They fucking butchered, and that just goes for the PG era. It's because of you young pups. You destroyed everying that we hold dear to your oversensitive snowflake generation has fucked everything up.
Hey, I don't like it either.
Hey, but their Ruthless Aggression era.
Yeah.
That's their era.
Aggressive.
Yeah, but even Ruthless Aggression, go back and watch the whole Ruthless Aggression. Go watch that docu-series on WWE Network. Other than 3 or 4 situation, was Ruthless Aggression really that ruthless? Think about it for a second.
Yes.
Can any of you...
What?
Thank you so much for the time today. It's been a slice. Peace out, guys.
Hey, there was some terrible. There was some hard angles. There was some terrible
Ruthless
angles.
Aggression was not aggression. You want to talk aggression? Even the Attitude Era. We all love, as wrestling fans, everybody's like, oh, the Attitude Era. The Attitude Era for style and what it looked like was brutal. The Attitude Era had storylines start at the beginning of a Raw and finish at the end of a Raw. Because there were so many storylines to run through, they couldn't do it all. There was beefs with The Undertaker and Kane, and all of a sudden, him and fucking Kane are Brotherhood of Destruction. Then there was fucking Crush coming back with the biker gang. That was very similar to what TNA did with fucking 8 balls and 8s over, or aces and 8s.
Yeah.
There was literally
That works too.
factions. It was like AEW is now. There was so many factions you couldn't keep your head straight. There was the corporation, then there was the new corporation, then there was the Nation of Domination, then there was the reunion of the Nation of Domination. Then all of a sudden, Owen Hart's not a fucking nugget. Then we have Triple H in blackface. Nobody talks about that in this snowflake sensitive fucking age.
Yeah.
But Triple H did blackface and he did it fucking horribly.
Yes,
Okay? He did it horribly.
Yes,
And it was the Attitude Era. Go back and watch the Attitude Era. It's not as great as everybody makes it out to be. I'm sorry.
I agree. No, I agree. I'm with you.
High spots for sure, but I'm sorry. The Attitude Era was just a way to print fucking money.
Yeah.
That's all it was about. It was a way to print money, and all of a sudden, T-shirts became a thing. If you didn't have the newest T-shirt after a pay-per-view on Sunday, you were the fucking clown show at my fucking school. You were the kid that went to Walmart to buy his fucking wrestling shirts because he couldn't get his parents to order them online. Remember the Walmart shirts? The WWE was painted on. You watched that thing once, it faded away.
Yes.
They weren't legitimate. They weren't legitimate. If you were the kid that shopped at Walmart with wrestling shirts, you were fucking bullied to no avail. I never had that problem. But a lot of other kids in my fucking school did. That's all I'm going to say. The Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression, none of it mattered. The best era in wrestling was from 80 to 90 fucking 4, and I'll put my goddamn money on it right now.
There's no disagreement here. I'm sorry, but it's the truth.
I've ranted enough. My apologies. I sound like I took over.
No, that's fine. Hey, we're digressing. All right, we're digressing.
I want to hear Chris's list. I want to hear my favorite hillbillies list. Let's go, baby.
Oh, Chris.
Oh, it's all good, dude.
He loves you, bro.
To compile this list, I had to take over my favorite matches, and then their importance to WrestleMania, and then would I show these to someone who hasn't watched a WrestleMania in hopes to recruiting them as a fan. Much like how George said he was going to show his top 4 or 5 to students of the game. This is recruiting fandoms. Which is why my favorite match of all time is number 5. And that it was only a block away from my house at the Anaheim Pond the Iron Man match between Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels.
Okay.
It is as important as any other match in the history of WrestleMania. The story was amazing. When that clock ran down to 0 and they were at 0-0 for the score, we didn't know what was going to happen. Bret thought he was walking out there the champion by default. I think everybody else did. Monsoon came out and said, we're restarting it. And the reason I started watching wrestling to begin with, a little guy with blonde hair and a mullet, pink talons, and all that looked like a girl's bicycle.
Assless chaps. You have to remember that.
David Lee Roth incarnate won the title, and I was happy. Shawn came out, through the he's coming from the heavens, the rafters. Jose Lothario pointing up to him. It was everything I wanted. I was 12 at the time, and it just hit that spot. It was perfect. Would I show that to someone to recruit them to watch WrestleMania? There's no way they're sitting through an hour match for their first match as a new fan. But it is my favorite wrestling match of all time.
Okay.
Number 4 was the absolute on everyone's list, Ric Flair versus Shawn Michaels. I'm sorry, I love you, super kick to the chin. One of Ric Flair's best matches of all time as well. With a big body of work that he's got, I think it's up there. But he performed well. He kept up with Shawn, who looked spry as anyone who had come back from retirement, 5 to 6 years prior. Great story. Neither one of them stayed. It wasn't a retirement match for Shawn, but obviously Rick didn't stay retired, and this was peak Shawn Michaels, which we never thought we were going to see after his first retirement, which was due to injury. Mm-hmm. Number 3 isn't on anybody's list, and this is maybe not the greatest in-ring work, but it's a moment, but the match itself led up to the moment, and that is going to be Daniel Bryan versus Orton and Batista, WrestleMania 30.
Of course.
One of the most important moments in small guy wrestling history. Someone who got fired, because he just went a little too overzealous on, was it Justin Roberts with the choke?
Yeah.
He came back. The stipulation was he was too small. The corporation was holding him, or the authority holding him down. If you can get through Triple H in the undercard, we'll maybe put you in the main event. And that might have been the biggest pop in the history of WrestleMania ever when he won that title. I can't think of a second that's even close to that. Yeah, super important match, super great reaction. Number 2, also on everyone's list, most of people's list, is Eddie Guerrero wins the title versus Kurt Angle at WrestleMania 20.
He retained.
Yeah. Another great moment in small man wrestling. Unfortunately for us, small men to Vince is anyone under 6'5". This was the feel-good hit of the early summer. It wasn't exactly summer, but feel-good hit of the year for sure, because Eddie was just so good at being bad that you just loved him no matter what. There were always new ways for him to cheat, and he went out he pulled the boot off, the ankle lock, slipped it out, got the win against an Olympic freaking gold medalist. That's a big deal, even though it's kayfabe. It's just a great moment for everybody. My number 1 is not on anybody's list, and I'm really sorry. And yeah, it just is what it is. It hit me right in the feels because I just loved it. It's my favorite WrestleMania. It's not my favorite match. Obviously, the Bret Hart Shawn Michaels is, but this, in my opinion, started the downfall for WCW and made Austin who he is today, and that's WrestleMania 14, HBK versus Austin. That's my number 1. It officially started the Attitude Era, officially started the downfall of the Monday Night Wars. I love the match itself as well. The story was great. Tyson as the enforcer coming in, hitting that 1, 2, 3 when Shawn was like, what are you doing? Knocking Shawn out after the match, pulling the DX shirt off, had the 316 underneath of it. Austin on the ropes, man. That guy almost got fired like a year and a half prior, and now he is the baddest mofo on the planet and a ratings monster. That is why it is my number 1.
Okay. But can I add to that? I like how JR's commentating was that for WrestleMania 14. I like how he sold it for Austin. Austin, or Tyson,
yeah.
Tyson.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? We remember the matches, and you're right. Chris, your list is actually spot on. If you're going to actually show somebody, hey, listen, you want to watch some wrestling? I don't know what the fuck that is. Isn't that fake? Sit down, shut the fuck up, and pay attention. Mm-hmm. But we forget that a lot of those matches that you remembered, you don't really remember the matches. You remember the moments. And when the phrase Yeselmania was coined, that's all you remember about 30. You remember the moment, exactly. But can you really remember any of that match? Because if you go back and watch that match, Daniel Bryan's only wrestling in it for like 94 seconds. Right. He spends a majority of it outside the ring pretending to be knocked out. It was pretty much Batista and Orton for the entirety of that match till Bryan got his spots. So we remember the moments, and that's why everybody's WrestleMania list will always be different. because you remember the moments, what got you in the feels. And I like your list. I like your thought process. I really, really do. But it's just you don't remember the match itself. You don't remember the high spots. You remember the lows or you remember the moment. But you never and a lot of those matches, the reason why the Attitude Era was so successful, Austin 316 or he's gonna stop a mud hole. Anytime JR spoke, all you wanted to do was eat chicken wings and barbecue sauce and fucking drink beer.
Hell yeah.
That's all you wanted. And half the time, fuck Stone Cold, a lot of that beer never even went down his fucking throat.
Oh, hell no. Yeah, you got
all his fucking shirts.
Oh yeah, that's a fact.
Anyways, sorry, continue, Chris, with your honorable mentions.
This honorable mention should absolutely be in the top 5, but it's not called the top 6. But it is absolutely Austin versus Bret Hart with the double switch WrestleMania 13.
Okay.
For every reason that we're talking about, it was great in the ring, a great story, and a great moment. It is all 3 of those. It was, as far as I can remember, up and even until today, the bloodiest match in WWE history. I don't think the Orton Brock Lesnar elbow was as bloody, but it was an iconic photo for sure of Austin. That got put on posters. That got put on T-shirts.
And now Britt Baker did it too.
And yeah, we'll see about that. We'll see how long.
Okay, I like that.
25 years later, something like that. So, yeah, man, it was a submission match. A lot of people don't remember. It had a stipulation to it. Bret Hart could tap anybody with the sharpshooter, and this went into overtime. So, he passed out, right? He didn't go to overtime. He just passed out.
Yeah, he passed out.
Yeah.
But also, it was cool because it kept kayfabe alive. It kept the sharpshooter protected.
Yeah.
Bret Hart didn't lose by not making him submit, but Stone Cold didn't submit, so they still both won in that right? It's
Agreed.
like the Good Brothers with the Magic Killer. Go back and watch a Magic Killer. Anytime they hit it, it's game over. No one's ever kicked out of the Magic Killer, and I like how they kept the sharpshooter protected for that match.
I agree.
Exactly. And the double switch, which is so hard to do. I can't think of how many times it's been done, but this is the one that was done masterfully. No one saw it coming. People weren't exactly cheering for Austin yet, but they were sort of starting to boo for Bret Hart. The angle was that he was kind of sick of the fans not respecting him, and Austin was kind of sick of of other wrestlers not respecting him, and they completely flipped the script. Bret was on the out. The rest for Austin is history. Yeah, just
one question that I have, and I apologize to interrupt. No, because now I forget. Did we ever see a Ken Shamrock Bret Hart match at all?
The buildup was there, but it never happened.
I think it was supposed to be that because they brought him in as like he was a UFC fighter at the time.
Yeah,
right.
And he was the world's most dangerous man. But yeah, I think you're right about that being a buildup. But we got Ken and Owen like a year later.
I love that shit. Honestly, I enjoyed that
match.
The Lions Den, and then in the dungeon. Oh my god, I loved it. Great wrestling match, in my opinion.
Right. Mm-hmm. And like George said, this might be more of a moment than the actual match. But I'm adding the Roman Reigns Brock Lesnar on WrestleMania 31 because of that.
What the fuck? Are you
iconic catch?
Now I need a beer for this shit. I'm gonna need a beer. I'll be right back. Jesus.
It happened within the realm of a match.
I'm kidding. I get it.
And I love the heat that it generated. I loved that Roman Reigns' family was ringside and visibly upset at this. I loved that. I love that Brock didn't win. I love that this cash-in came out of nowhere. Seth had lost earlier that night to the second greatest RKO of all time. It was a great moment. The match itself wasn't whatever. Seth adding himself. He didn't just come in and cash it in. He had to go through those guys. There was like 2 minutes of actual match time before he hit the curb stomp on Roman and Brock. And I think he pinned Roman. Yeah, just that's definitely like a huge iconic moment within a match. So that is why it's an honorable mention.
Okay, no, I get you on that. I just still
see your thought process, but every time you put Brock Lesnar in a best of, it's hard to stomach.
I know. That's my thing. It's like it's hard.
He'll never be on a best of in a winning situation.
Well, no, I mean, come on. I mean, Richard added him. Angle. I mean, I had no issue with that. But when you mentioned
my face was. Listen, Brock Lesnar shouldn't be on anybody's list. And when Richard said that, go back and watch the fucking tape. When Richard said that, I was just like, really?
Yeah, no, I saw.
But I get it. Like I said, everybody's list is different. But I actually think the strongest list today is Chris's, just for the thought process that went into it. I get it. And that's what it is, right? WrestleMania is not a thing anymore. It is, but it isn't. But all we care about now are moments. And all the WWE cares about is what they could put on a shirt. The next day when Daniel Bryan came out to Raw with that title, WrestleMania shirts were all over the motherfucking building.
Oh my God.
From what I understand, they only printed like a 15,000 shirt run for that following Raw, and they sold out within like 14 minutes. If you weren't one of the first motherfuckers there, you didn't get a WrestleMania shirt. They never even went up on the website. They never even went up on the web. Like, that's what I mean. It's all about a license to print money, and the house always wins. But Chris, I really do actually, I love your list, the thought process that went into it. You just gained my fucking respect back, dude. I used to hate you guys. Now I think it's okay.
You know
now.
that means something, because I do look up to you as a. If it's not up, it's closely to the side, but slightly at an angle above.
So it's like Shawn Michaels' one good eye. Is that what it is? Is that what it is?
My yeah. I can't do the Shawn Michaels eye, but yeah, it's all.
Shawn, look me in my eye. I am looking you in your eye. No, I'm over here. I'm over here. Oh, there you are.
I see what you did there, and also over there.
I'm the only wrestler in history that's got 360 degrees of vision. I can see it all around me. I really mean that, man. Like the thought process that went into it. And and you're right. No one on their first go is like, hey, you want to watch wrestling? Yeah, you want to watch an hour-long match? Dude, I got fucking shit.
With like a 10-year storyline?
Yeah, I got laundry. I mean, fuck, I gotta watch my grandmother's fucking gotchis. Like, I don't got time for that shit, bro. I really don't. Like, a new wrestling fan would not sit through an Iron Man match, but you build up from there. You show them Austin versus Shawn. It's like a 12-minute match, 13 minutes at most, because Shawn was all fucked up and cockeyed. Well, actually, he wasn't cockeyed yet, but he will be cockeyed in about 15 years.
And he did. I mean, he's already there, but imagine the other eye too. Damn.
Dude, Saudi Arabia, okay? Crown Jewel, whatever the fuck it was called. Mm-hmm. I swear to God, when Kane kicked him into the turnbuckle, I swear to God, I've said this on multiple podcasts, his eyes went straight for like 30 seconds. and then his shit went back after fucking Taker gave him the forearm. But for a split second, it was like that line from Vegas Vacation. Weren't her eyes cross-eyed? She falls down a well, her eyes go cross-eyed. She gets kicked by a horse, her eyes go back. I don't know. It was the same fucking shit, man. Same fucking shit. So, yeah, like, whenever I watch Crown Jewel, that's a moment for me. You want to talk about moments? Crown Jewel, Shawn Michaels' eyes went straight for like 30 seconds again. I shit you the fuck now.
That's so funny.
that is hilarious. You know, also as well, I see both of you guys added Ric Flair and HBK. I mean, but remind you as well that, I don't know. I want to hear your thoughts. I mean, when it was Flair and Taker, I think that was the first time we seen Flair back in a WWE ring. I think that was his in-ring return. Am I correct? I mean, that was his first time since he came back as.
I believe you're right. And you know what? The funny thing is that that's when Flair was like broken. And I don't mean broken as in physically. I mean broken as in mentally. If you go back and watch the Ric Flair, Eric Bischoff beat one of the GOATs to his knees. At that time, we're talking a 16-time champion. Now, mind you, it's a clouded record because he was booking himself as the champion for about 8 of those. So really, in actuality, he's only like an 8 or 9-time champ. But he was broken and beaten to his knees by everything Eric Bischoff said. You're not a GOAT. You're not a legend. Like his couple years at WCW was brutal. Yeah. It actually was the reason why Evolution was one of the greatest factions of all time is because it was Triple H's idea to bring Flair in to give him that spark and that fire again. Yeah. Because he had lost it. The spark was gone. And it took him and like I remember from watching the Randy Orton documentary when Orton's like, so Triple H brings us in and he sits Batista and me down. He goes, you guys ready to be hated? Like, well, what do you mean? You are about to be with me, who is married to the boss's daughter. You're about to be with a legend like Ric Flair. You're only going to travel with us. You're only going to sit with us. You're only going to be in our dressing room. There are other guys who would kill to have the ability to pick a legend like Flair and a future legend like Triple H's brain. If I'm Randy Orton and Dave Batista, I'm soaking it all in. Now, obviously, you can tell by careers, Randy did. Batista did not. The best thing that ever happened to Batista was when he got his fucking nose ring plucked out by Triple H. Good match. But that was the best thing that ever happened to Batista was garbage. And even that match with Triple H, the whole promo that went from that to that, all that shit.
Yeah. It should have been Jindrak.
I know. I said it earlier tonight, man. Mark Jindrak, bro. That guy's still tweeting out. He tweeted out last year, challenging Triple H because Batista was doing the "Give me what I want, say it." And John Jindrak's like, No, give me what I want. Triple H, like no one's considering you at all for this. What are you talking about?
But you know what? You go back and watch those promos that they did the shots with Jendrick, and he looked out of place. He really did.
Mhm.
He didn't fit the Evolution build, and I get why they brought, Orton in for that or Batista in for that. It makes logical sense, but the whole reason of Evolution was the spark to bring Flair back. Everything else that we got out of that was just a fucking bonus. We also got Triple H to rock a handlebar mustache better than Hulk Hogan ever.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey,
that's my thoughts on that process. And again, Flair versus Shawn Michaels, yeah, it's a moment, but match wise for me, didn't deliver like the 5 that I put on my list. And again, my list was more for the technical ability and the story. I've always called in-ring work the great dance, and I think my list shows the greatest dances that ever happened at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
and that's I mean, when you could tell a story without words and move people, don't get me wrong, Flair and Michaels move people. It just wasn't on my list or my honorable mentions, just because for the technical ability, it didn't sell me enough. And I get it. Flair was older, Shawn was Shawn, whatever. It wasn't the moment that we all remember is the moment you guys all said, I'm not crying, you're crying, with a tear in my eye.
That's right. Tear in my eye.
Super kick to the face, and then he rolls over, and you get to see the bald spot on top of Shawn Michaels' head. How does Ric Flair have more hair than that motherfucker? I don't get it, bro. I don't get it. I really don't. That's my 2 cents on that one.
Definitely. But overall, but I was mentioning that Ric Flair won with Taker. Of course, that was just like in ring. Yeah, back in WWE for the first time in a WWE ring for a couple of years. It was great. And also he was happy because Taker got him out of that as well. That was just the start of it. And so later on, how you mentioned, George, that Triple H got him on, getting that spark again. And so that was at least the beginning of it. And then later on became fruition. And I'm happy for Flair. And I'm happy that we did not add Batista this list at all.
Listen, if any of us did, I think we all would have just been like, after I say this, I'm just going to hop off. It would have been pointless.
Definitely.
Well, actually, Chris did. Chris did put Batista on his list because of the moment, WrestleMania 30. Batista was in that match.
But Batista, not for Batista's performance or his win, but his.
He didn't want to be in that match, first of all. He said it himself. Why am I booked to be in this match? That should have been CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, WrestleMania 30. Punk putting over Daniel Bryan. That's what it should have happened. Punk having the belt, dropping the belt to Daniel Bryan.
And now that you say that, now that you bring up that name, I almost feel bad. But here's another WrestleMania moment that CM Punk did not make.
Right? He did not. Oh, you're right. CM Punk is also
not a single CM on any of our lists.
Listen. Let's ask this question. I want to pose a question if I can.
Go for it.
If the pipe bomb never happened, one of the greatest promos that was ever cut in that time period, if that promo never happens, do any of you 4 give a fuck about CM Punk after that point? Straight up. If take the pipe bomb out of the equation, do you give a fuck?
I wasn't watching that era I think it might have just been I was poor and didn't have internet, or maybe another reason was I didn't like the spinner belt or Vicky Guerrero, so I was out on those 2 reasons. So CM Punk to me is an afterthought where I had to go back and sort of catch up. The pipe bomb was awesome, but we have to be as realistic as possible. Vince approved that entire script. He may have said, say whatever you want. You can include Ring of Honor. You can include Vince and all these controversial subjects. But at the end of the day, there's no way Vince did not approve that entire script. The cutting of the mic, that was Vince. Phil knew that was going to happen.
No, I agree. Yeah.
So as impactful as that pipe bomb moment is, it wasn't as controversial as if it were a shoot interview done on, Straight Talk Wrestling. It wasn't really that much of a straight talk. And then
it was real to me, damn it.
Then watching CM's actual in-ring work, best in the world, really not even close. Like there's some sloppy, kind of slow, kind of like Lita, 2 left feet a lot of the times. I'm sorry,
like Lita when she did a fucking 450. And her thong was just all out. I don't give a fuck. That's poetry in motion. Watch your mouth.
Pun intended.
From ages 12 to 14, that was paused on my fucking TV with Kleenex box and lotion beside me. I ain't even gonna sugarcoat that shit. Okay.
So going back and retroactively watching CM Punk and catching up on his career, nothing was as great as it was sold to us. I don't know if it was just for the t-shirt marketing. he was good on the mic. He was very confident, very articulate, very smart. But he was just indie darling 101, in my opinion.
Thank you.
Okay, I still would have followed him regardless because I was an indie fan of his when he was.
I don't hate him. I'm not like anti.
No, I get that, but he asked the question: would I still, follow him? I would because I was an indie fan because I started with him in Ring of Honor, and then when he went to WWE, okay, I followed his career as well. So I was a big fan of his because his in-ring skills have been.
I would love to see him come back. I know that I forget who made the point that they have.
I'm sorry, it's too fucking overrated.
They have a $5 million buy rate cash in, waiting for the moment to bring CM Punk back.
We've been saying it on our weekly episodes. We've been saying it that
what's the moment that they're going to kill AEW with the Phil Brooks return?
When CM Punk comes back, when AJ Lee agrees to come back, that's when it'll happen.
I want her back.
When AJ decides. Hold on, another conspiracy theory. Chris, get your lotion ready. I'm going to get you hard right now. Break the fuck up. Another conspiracy theory that a lot of people have thrown around. The reason why CM Punk hasn't returned is not that there's beef. There is no beef. There never was beef. It's just great marketing ploy. How do you keep the quote-unquote best in the world out of a ring and not be hated? It's like being Vince McMahon again without really being Vince McMahon. CM Punk has almost been wiped off of everybody's brain. The only fans that remember him are when they go to Chicago when shows resume. The first chant you're going to hear is CM Punk, CM Punk. They do that every time they go to fucking Chicago. But the fact is, the only reason CM Punk will ever step foot in a WWE ring is if AJ Lee is with him. And I guarantee you, if AJ Lee is with him, they're going to spark a new title, brand new tag titles. The first time you'll ever see it, intergender tag team champions.
Oh my God, I love it.
That's when the shit will count. That's when it'll matter. That's when everybody will say, oh my God, WWE's visionary. They intergender. Fuck that. Intergender's been done on the indies for years and it's been done 10 times better. Here in Canada, we have some of the strongest women that I've seen knock the teeth out of fucking men. That's because our girls here are sexy. We don't play and our healthcare allows everybody to have a full set of teeth all fucking times. Even meth addicts have teeth in Canada, okay? Break the fuck up.
What's that guy? Not Chris Christie, the other guy, the twins that were the mayor of Toronto.
Oh, Doug Ford, yeah. No, Doug Ford, Robert Ford.
Rob Ford. There you go. Thank you. That's what I'm thinking of. He's like, so what if I do meth in my hotel room? It's my business. He said that in an interview. Loved it. Yeah.
And that was our former mayor of Toronto. May he rest in peace. Motherfucker, listen, whatever he did outside, he was still the best politician we ever had here. He did a lot of good things for the city of Toronto until his brothers now fucked it up as a province. I'm on another 28-day lockdown. I'm going stir fucking crazy, okay? But the fact is that it'll happen when AJ Lee says, okay, I'm good. Let's go back. When AJ says, let's go back, they'll jump in.
Do you have a theory on why her hiccup is? Like, what is her hesitance? Like, is she
her hiccup is that she's been wiped off the face of the map for everything from revolution to evolution. They don't mention that AJ Lee held down the shittiest women's division in wrestling history for fucking multiple years. And both of the Mendez brothers will tell you that I'm fucking right about that. She held it down when all we had was fucking the Bellas. I'm sorry, I said Mendez brothers, and I apologize. That was my bad. Did you mean that? No, I didn't. It was an accident.
It was funny. I thought you said Melendez brothers, and I didn't.
I'm sorry. How do you pronounce your guys' names? I apologize. I'm sorry. Mares. Both of the Mares brothers will tell you that in a shitty ass time period of wrestling, she was the only woman that mattered.
I agree.
Okay? The Bellas are in the Hall of Fame before fucking AJ Lee is. Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm done. I'll see you later. I'll see you later.
It's your fucking generation that put the Bellas fucking there. You guys put the Bellas.
I'm ruthless. Stop touching me to that junk.
Okay?
That's terrible.
Right, I'm sorry. Nikki Bella is good for two things. Spank bank material and flaring her ass cheeks. That's it.
Do the same.
Brie Bella is good for one thing. Ironing your clothes. Flat as an iron. Okay? But the fact of the matter remains is that AJ Lee was the queen before Charlotte Flair was the fucking queen. And that's her hiccup. You want to strike me from the records? My husband, who literally shit talked you, sued you, and won twice, 2 different lawsuits, he still talked about. He's still allowed, even though he's not allowed, hush hush, it still happens. When's the last time you heard Stephanie McMahon sit down for a shoot interview or Triple H and say, if it wasn't for AJ Lee being one of the early coaches at the Performance Center, Sasha Banks, Bayley, fucking Becky Lynch, and fucking Charlotte Flair would be irrelevant. AJ Lee did seminars when those girls started. AJ Lee is the reason women in wrestling are at the top of their fucking game.
This is before Sarah Del Rey became the coach for NXT. Sarah Amato, thank you. But yeah, AJ Lee was everything.
Yeah. for the women's division in NXT. AJ Lee was the one that started the entire fucking spark. You don't believe me? Go back and research it. It's
Yes.
fucking true.
She even wrestled Bailey. She put over, she put her over a lot of
Her
talent.
last match was bringing Paige over.
Yes.
He put Paige over.
Yeah.
But actually, Paige was already over. God love a British woman.
Yes. But and also
Fine like wine in the fucking summertime. That's
yes, sir.
Huh.
Who trained AJ Lee? Come on, we already know, but I'm asking you guys.
I want to pose it to the two youngins. I know the answer, but I want the two young and don't be Googling. I know you're on your computer. I saw you type it. Richard, I saw you type it up in your list. Don't be fucking Googling shit. I know Alex. Alex has been staring at the camera. I saw you fucking like you were typing the whole time everybody was talking. Man. Who trained AJ Lee? Gentlemen, you two, go
for it.
I stopped watching it during that time, and no, I was kidding. I have
Alex,
no idea.
Alex, can you save your brother, please?
Was it no, I don't know, honestly.
He's Googling. He's fucking typing. Look at him.
I'm not Googling.
Not you, Alex, your brother. He's sitting there fucking typing.
Richard is Googling.
Chris, save these boys the embarrassment.
I would only be guessing, homie. I'm sorry to let you down.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Thanks,
Ivan,
Chris.
please educate these motherfuckers.
We
please.
mentioned it earlier. We talked about him earlier that he had a great feud with Ric Flair. Woo, 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 woo.
Jay motherfucking Lethal.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I fucking forgot about that.
So really, if you wanna thank anyone
Thank him.
for women's wrestling being relevant,
Thank him.
pay homage and respect to Jay Lethal.
Absolutely.
Because if he didn't
Forgot
teach
about
AJ
that,
Lee the
yeah.
Black Widow, okay, when AJ Lee spun over a motherfucking human being like a
I
spider,
love that finisher.
that was the sexiest thing ever. And you know what? It's never been duplicated.
smiled.
Why?
When she was cackling when she had it. That's one of the best shots when she's just like screaming at the end of that. Yeah.
Dude, she made knee-high socks so sexy again.
Yes.
Shorts and
yes,
oh.
she did. Yes, she
AJ
did.
Lee is all kinds of fire. That woman is the GOAT. That woman is what is irrelevant. I put her up there with a Trish, an Alita, and a Beth Phoenix holding down divisions when there wasn't a whole lot of talent. Michelle McCool. There's a lot of women that were holding down divisions when there wasn't a lot of talent. And everybody talks about how everybody's so catty in the back. And here's another woman that doesn't get enough fucking respect. Fellow Canadian, a member of the Hart family, Natty fucking Neidhart. That chick has been holding shit down for 18 years and has only had 2 title runs. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, I'm with you. I talked about it in my last top 5 about that. I was really upset about that.
Is that the same top 5 that somebody put GSP in there? What?
Great Canadian wrestler.
Okay, but this is wrestling, not fucking. Okay, fuck. We have Olympians that won gold on broken necks too, but nobody fucking talks about them. Oh, Kurt Angle won a gold. We fucking did it first.
He wasn't Canadian.
Doesn't matter. We did it first. We don't get enough respect in the Olympics.
But
when we win, it's like, oh no, that guy's too fast. We got to test him for steroids. Oh, so all of a sudden Canada wins gold and we got to get tested for steroids? Get the fuck out of here. It's nonsense. Nobody tested Russia for 40 fucking years, and all of a sudden,
I know, dude. That shit's fucked up right there.
Yeah, it is.
But serious, I'm sorry to go on another rant.
No, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
That's the beef, man. My beef is with that is that everybody talks about, the 4 horsewomen. Fuck that. There was one lone wolf, a ghost rider, and her name was AJ Lee, and nobody pays respect. And again, nobody pays Jay Lethal respect.
No.
Jay Lethal was the one that started everything. He's the one that he taught her the Black Widow. He designed the Black Widow for her. You weigh 100 pounds. You're not going to powerhouse anybody. But guess what? You could slide down the back of somebody's back like a fucking spider, and you could kill him in an instant.
That was a great finish.
Black Widow was also one of the most protected finishers in that time period.
Yeah.
Nobody did not tap out of that. Nobody.
No, definitely. I agree 100% that's why Jay Lethal is the man. Why he decided to stay in Ring of Honor. Why he has that with the Foundation, which is a great faction, by the way. Unfortunately, they beat my faction, Los Ingobernables. God. But oh well. It is what it is. It is what it is.
What it is.
Before
but
one
listen,
thing,
Jay Lethal versus Shane Taylor. If we're talking ROH for a second, when that happens, ooh, that's gonna fucking turn heads.
Oh yeah, would it?
Heads.
Fuck it. Hell, fuck yeah, it would. It would definitely. One more thing I want to add before we end this here. I want to digress this one too because we haven't spoken about it. I think Chris and I didn't speak about it this past week, but I want to get your guys' thought. We heard from a lot of people, but I want to hear yours. Why did they pull the plug on the Hurt Business.
Oh, I know. Fucking Christ.
Oh, so stupid.
That one of the most stupidest decisions.
can I-
But yeah,
No matter what George is about to say, he's right. So just
I appreciate
George,
that.
speak for
Thank
all
you.
of us.
Thank
Speak
you.
for all
But
of us.
I'm
Go
not going to
ahead.
speak for all of you guys, but listen, the reason why the plug was pulled on the Hurt Business, I completely get it. Bobby Lashley's got to go a little bit lone wolf, and he's got to have the old school OG in his ear for sure. Shelton Benjamin and what's the other fucking guy?
Cedric Alexander.
Cedric.
Thank you. Look at the grand scheme of things. Do they fit with Bobby Lashley and MVP? No. In my honest opinion.
Okay.
Great wrestlers. Shelton Benjamin, he is one of the most underrated WrestleMania moments. You talk about moments. He was Kofi Kingston before Kofi Kingston was Kofi Kingston. Shelton Benjamin did crazy shit at those early Money in the Bank matches when it used to be just at WrestleMania. A lot of people sleep on that shit.
No,
Right?
I'm with
Now
you,
it's a
yeah.
whole fucking pay-per-view and they're running up the rafters of fucking WWE headquarters and all that nonsense. But they don't fit. And the reason why they don't fit is I think there's better talent that deserve to be in the Hurt Business. I think the Hurt Business is going to come back 2.0. And I'm going to put 2 wrestlers in it. One of them, I don't know how they're going to do it, but one of them is definitely going to be Xavier Woods. I don't know how they can pull it off, but it's going to be Xavier.
So we're going to see the New Day heel split?
Well, they already kind of killed the New Day when they put Big E off to the side. Now, Big E is going to lose at WrestleMania because he's going to be due for a big push next year. He will main event next year's WrestleMania. He will go after he's going to win the Rumble. It's already been a setup. But here's the thing. He's got to lose to somebody else. And who else fits the mode of the Hurt Business? Apollo Crews.
Yeah. That's what I thought you were going to do.
So that's the thing, right? There is going to be a Hurt Business 2.0, but think about that. Business has literally just picked up. You had Xavier Woods and Apollo Crews, Bobby Lashley, MVP. If Apollo Crews has the IC title, if Bobby Lashley retains against Drew McIntyre, and all of a sudden you bring in Xavier Woods, maybe somehow line him up for a U.S. championship match against fucking Matt Riddle, which would be fire.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
All of a sudden, MVP's got 3 dudes rocking gold, way better than Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. No taking away their skills. Their in-ring ability is amazing. But let's be honest. With what Apollo's doing now with this new accent that he's got going, does it make sense? No. But can MVP pull it out of him? Because MVP can cut one of the meanest promos in the business. Look what he did for Bobby Lashley. It's the same thing Taz did for Brian Cage. You put a guy who can cut a promo with guys who can't. And Shelton and Cedric had multiple opportunities to try to gain that, and they didn't. You got to, if anything, Jeremy Prophet has taught me, you got to walk the walk. It's not about talking the talk. If you can sell eyewear to a blind man, ice to an Eskimo, and condoms to an AIDS-infested hooker, you've won the day.
There you go.
I need that last one.
Yeah, I couldn't run out of analogies, okay? Fuck. I ran out of them. But that's my point. Hurt Business will be back, but it will be 2.0, and it will be a little bit stronger.
Yeah, they tweeted, MVP's tweeted out something like now accepting applications. So, I mean, obviously it's not over. It's just over for Benjamin and
maybe you bring in Keith Lee. Maybe you wipe out Xavier Woods and you bring in a Keith Lee.
I know that Vince hates females in factions, but I ain't mad.
Naomi.
I'm okay with that. I love that. Why not? And then have the Hurt Business help her win the women's title?
Yeah, make her like her heel turn finally after, her entire life of not being a heel that I can remember.
She was a heel with Sasha Banks when she came up and bad with Tamina Snuka.
Oh, bad. Yeah, that's right.
That was the only one. Yeah, that was the only one.
Only a very short-lived faction. But why not? Naomi's a perfect example. Bring Naomi and have her screw over Rhea Ripley the night after WrestleMania. Oh my God.
Damn, son.
Think about that. And all of a sudden we have a beeline to fucking Money in the Bank when it's Rhea Ripley and Naomi in a fucking ladder match with that title hanging over. Oh, shut up and take my money. Vince McMahon, hire me. I can save your company. I know you're on Peacock and shit. You're going to wipe all the Attitude Era shit that you
They already did.
You won't see Miss Kitty's titties on Peacock. No, you won't.
Nope, not at all. Modest Brothers, your thoughts about that? Do you agree with Mr.
And I'm sorry for fucking up your names, guys. I apologize. I should
no worries.
No, I feel like an asshole. I apologize for screwing that up. I feel like Chris. I shouldn't say shit when I don't have the
Oh my God.
The times that I'm wrong are few, but they matter.
Well, go ahead.
No, he said it best. That's why I said
Yeah,
speak
I
for
agree
us.
with him.
Because I mean, he says it so well. No, I applaud you. Really. I mean, he said it all.
Yeah.
I mean,
He spoke for
Especially,
us.
especially talking
he's
about
just
AJ
good,
too.
yeah.
Wow, amazing.
I know.
Yeah.
I was just upset about it. It's just because Steve from the SCW channel, shout out to him because he's he brought up a theory about his reasons that they separated them was the fact is because they want to try to have Bobby by himself, have him be put over at Mania because it remind you that for the first time you're gonna have a crowd, and somehow they have a feeling that the crowd is gonna be cheering for Lashley. So what? Right. As the Hurt Business with that group. So what they wanted to do is based on his theory is to split Hurt Business, have Lashley be as a heel to be hated so they could put over Drew with the crowd because last year Drew did not have a crowd when he wanted against Brock Lesnar. They're testing the waters to see if now with the crowd in place so that Drew can have his moment finally. That makes a little sense, his theory. But I still think it's not going to work. I have a bad feeling that they're going to boo Drew McIntyre at Mania. I have a bad feeling that's going to happen.
Right, like unplanned, like a Roman Reigns type deal where they just
Right. Yeah, it's almost like that Roman.
They can't pump in their own audio anymore, so the crowd is now back to dictating who they are going to cheer and boo for.
Exactly.
Yeah, and what happened to Roman Reigns when they booed for him and it was quiet as a church mouse in that WrestleMania? Did he win? No, he did not.
No, he didn't.
All Vince the Manias that decision on the fly.
Yeah.
Right? You go back and watch that match. You can even see the moment where the ref leans over and goes, Roman, you're losing.
Yeah. That was the one that the Lesnar one. Everybody
just
thought
Vince McMahon's asshole like an hour ago. Really? I'm losing? Not me.
Yeah.
Stupid Superman punch.
What Mania was that? That was what, 34, right?
Yeah.
34. Yeah. That was a last minute change because he was supposed to win against Lesnar. Yeah. But it was a last minute change. That
he'd already called the family because I remember his grandpa or Chief Joe.
Yeah, they were there ringside, and it was we knew already that because Vince knows we dictate who we love, not you, fucker. Even though you're trying to, even though you can throw it in our faces, but I'm sorry, you fucked up by doing that with Roman. Should have been heel a long time ago with the crowd before the pandemic.
Called it 2 years ago.
Just saying. No, I saw it. Yes, you're right. Absolutely. Should have done it before the whole close down because then that would make more sense. And guess what? He's going to be cheering at Mania now. And then what are you going to do? Goddamn, pal, you got to put him on damn face again. And then you put him on face, I'm going to
then he's going to come out and be like, hey, I'm Roman. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. Exactly. So, I mean, do you agree with his theory on that? On him thinking about, having Drew to be put over with the crowd? Do you agree with his theory, what he said?
Are people? I don't know. Without the crowd, I'm sorry. Without the crowd being there, I don't know. I don't go to a Drew McIntyre Reddit thread and see them. I don't do that. So I don't know what the realistic public response is to any of the characters that are developed right now.
Well, speak from your gut then. Tell us what you feel. Looking at the two champions, if you were attending WrestleMania and you were going to be front seat, first row, as close as you can with COVID restrictions, who would you be cheering for when that music hit? Are you a Drew guy or a Bobby guy? Just say it right now.
I'm a heel guy, so Bobby, because I love The Rock. The Rock during his heel phase, people were cheering him or hating it. I love cheering for the asshole. The dominant champion asshole is my favorite character ever.
And I guess what? There's 20,000 people allowed at this arena of 70,000 capacity. Am I right about that? Is that the
45? I think they said 45,000 about so.
Yeah.
Okay, so half the arena size. So if Chris thinks that way, and then we'll get Richard's thoughts, we'll get Alex's thoughts, and my thought, which is pretty much irrelevant. But the fact is that 45,000 people are going to think just like Chris. I love the hero. I love the anti-hero. I love the heel. I love the griminess to the character. I love when somebody's going to walk out, hold gold, and smack a motherfucker in his face. Bobby will get cheered that night. And just the way Steve said it, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Richard, what's your thoughts?
No, the same. Exactly. That's what I want to see. I want to see the anti-hero and Bobby Lashley go in there and just smash Drew and become champion, retain his title. I mean, I know what they're trying to do. Like Ivan was saying, now we're gonna get I just wish there was a crowd to get that organic pop from McIntyre, but I don't want that story to be rewritten and see it again. Exactly. I want to see Bobby Lashley get his shine now with the crowd, in attendance. It's long overdue. He should have been champion, I think, a while back before he left and went on to TNA. And with MVP in the side, I mean, they're going to get a big pop with, you know, him retaining the championship.
I would have loved. It's too bad. I would have loved to see MVP and Paul Heyman cut promos on each other's respective. It's too bad.
That
would have been epic to see.
That would have been fire.
Yeah.
Alex, what's your thoughts? Are you in agreement with Chris and Richard on that as well? You want to see the anti-hero win it?
Of course, yeah. I think he deserves it. I mean, he's worked his ass off, and I feel like
that itself is its own story right there. Is for sure. He
Yeah.
does.
you know he deserves it.
So if you guys are the 45,000, if all of us here account for 45,000, I account for 12. If all 5 of us are 45,000, there's about 30,000 people that have already made the decision for Ivan and for me. So what's the point at that point? And that's exactly what's going to happen at WrestleMania. The crowd's going to dictate it. Drew McIntyre, he held the company down during a pandemic period. I'll give it up to him. Credit for that. And they took the title away from him and gave it to Randy just so Randy could tie Triple H's record and then surpass Triple H's record. So Randy will be the eventual one to break Ric Flair's record. Who else but an Evolution member is going to break it? 150%. Cena only tied it. He never broke it. So Randy will be the guy that will break that record because it just makes sense. If an Evolution member beats another Evolution member's record, that's why Randy was given the title for that 1 or 2 week reign back in the ambulance match and all that bullshit.
Right.
But Ivan, what's your thoughts? Are you cheering for Bobby?
Of course.
I'll
Anti-hero.
I've just been put in on it. I have no choice. I'm not going to be the one idiot in the crowd going, yeah, Scotland. No, fuck that. Go Bobby. Woo! I'm not going to do that. I love Drew McIntyre, but I'm going to go with the consensus just because I don't want to be one of the 45,000 to get booed out of the fucking arena. I paid like $90 million for this ticket. I'll cheer with whoever the fuck you guys are cheering for, just so I can enjoy my overpriced beer while we're all 6 feet away from each other.
I'm with you though, but I wish that Lashley could have won it, had this momentum at Mania this year. Instead of winning it before on Raw, I wish Drew would have gotten back, have Drew defend it against Bobby, and then Bobby going over. That'll be his Mania moment.
Check the numbers at the Raw. Check the numbers at the Raw. That was one of the highest rated Raws of this year when Bobby won it. That's why they did it at a Raw. And also, why did they do it at a Raw? They haven't done it at a Raw in forever. When we were in the Attitude Era, we talk about moments. How many times did world titles change on a fucking Raw?
Probably like 3. Mick Foley, Jericho.
Like, fuck. Raws were the hottest place.
And Austin.
Raws were the hottest place for titles to be changed back in the Attitude Era. They changed like fucking Vince McMahon's sexual harassment suits changed. They changed so rapidly. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But that's why it was one of the highest rated Raws, because everybody knew The Miz winning it was only for that. And that was the guarantee. Bobby will help you win it tonight, so you have to defend it tomorrow. And it was one of the highest rated Raws. And kudos to Miz, 2-time fucking quad champion.
Yeah.
Whatever they call it, Triple Crown, whatever the fuck they call that.
Oh, yeah, 2-time Grand Slam champion.
Grand Slam champion 2 times.
2 times.
Like the Miz, that's Hall of Fame bound. The only fucking one of only 3 other people to do it.
That's
Come
true.
on. Say what you want to say. The Miz is awesome. I've said that from the get-go. I still have the Chick Magnet shirt somewhere too.
That's an OG one right there. Definitely. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
But like that's the thing, right? That's why it was done. It was a high rated Raw and of this year, because it was that shock value. And everyone's talking about Impact numbers going down because nobody from AEW was on Impact 2 weeks ago. Impact's numbers aren't down. Tony Khan owns Impact. Whatever numbers Impact's getting, Tony Khan already owns it. And who owns Tony Khan? Vince McMahon does. Ted Turner does. It's that
pyramid scheme, man. That pyramid, how you said it.
It's like I said, right? Vince McMahon at the top, dance puppets dance. Tony Khan's a face there. Why is an AEW star on WWE Network? Why? Because it's got the whole wrestling world buzzing. My wife tagged me in 3 different posts of it today. Babe, look. Yeah. I just want to see Jericho and Stone Cold talk, because Stone Cold, when he talks, hilarious to me because he talks over everybody. Well, this is my answer, Steve. Okay, but let me ask you about this question now, because I got a question right here and I want to get this off my plate right now. And then it's like, well, okay, Steve, I'd love to answer that. Okay, but before you answer that, there's another question that just popped into my head. I'm going to have 3 shots of Jack Daniels, and then we're going to talk about it, okay? The whole interview was Chris Jericho Stone Cold interrupting everybody else. Everybody else. When he did with The Undertaker, the only time The Undertaker spoke was when they took shots, and you could see The Undertaker. He's like, okay, so Steve, right before you cut me off there, I just wanted to say while you're drinking your JD that fuck. Stone Cold is one of the most aggressive interviewers ever. He scares me. I feel like he's going to jump over the table and smack somebody. He never lets anybody speak.
No.
And now it's going to see another egomaniac like Chris Jericho. That's what I want to see. I just want to see 2 egos go at it. And who's got the better dad bod? Jericho's winning. I got Jericho beat though. My dad bought it stellar. Stellar.
There you go. Definitely. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in here of our top 5 and of course our little debates that we have. Why not? Because shit, this is a one-time moment you never, get passed by. And also we wanted to digress as well and get our thoughts about what's going on in the current pro wrestling events as well. We will be back. I'm hoping these my brothers here will be back joining us next week when we'll do top 5 best WrestleMania pay-per-views overall, because that's a tougher one. Because I had to go through the cards, which one was the best one, which one, that's going to be a tough one.
I will have to opt out of next week just for the simple fact that it is my 4-year-old's birthday. She's turning 5. And if I book a podcast on my kid's birthday, I am a deadbeat dad. I'm not going to do that.
No. Yeah, no worries.
But you have my support. I will watch it. And I will cheer all you guys on. And much love, Alex and Richard. We didn't get a chance to really talk last time because there was like a lot of people talking.
Yeah.
Once I got booted out the first round, I pretty much fell asleep. You can go back and watch it. I'm snoring.
We were like in round 3, and we were like already bored.
Oh fuck! There was a lot of people just talking, and a lot of people talking.
We were just waiting for our turn. Like, okay, when, and okay.
Well, that's when you got a lot of podcasters in one room. They talk
over
everybody else. But this is nice. Keep it like the 5 maximum, bro. I think this is a good level of people for sure.
Oh yes, definitely for sure.
But it's my first time getting to talk to you guys. Ivan, it's always good to talk to you. Chris, we're okay now.
All right. I'm the one that has work to do, obviously, so I will do that.
Yeah, you have to do a lot of work. But yes,
you know what? Just start talking again for a quick second, Chris. Just to say something.
I am.
Well, let me just tell you something right now, Chris. I got a story in my hand. I got this now. Fucking stone cold.
Oh my god. But yes. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to also follow them on their YouTube channel as well. Make sure the subscription down below will be their YouTube channel link in the link tree as well. Make sure to tune in because they have incredible content that you guys will love, especially with George Mckay and the mini host, the queen of podcasts. She asked the 5 toughest questions to everyone that she has on the show. So you got to be careful with that. So you don't want to be in those top 5 questions because she'll ask the tough ones. Most definitely. And also, don't forget, George and his lifelong partner, podcast with Lewis Carlin, they do excuse my language, MLW Rewind. My tongue, yeah. MLW Rewind. They recap weekly MLW review shows. And it is phenomenal. I love it. By the way, I did see Court Bauer did it. Put a like on your I saw that.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Why is he not on the show? Why the hell is he not on the show?
Okay, so we're going to talk MLW for a couple of minutes, just literally 2 quick minutes. We've reached out to him. We've tweeted him. He actually retweeted when we announced the show. He said, I can get behind this. It's like, okay, come on the show. We have literally had 40% of his roster. Myron Reed, Richard Holiday twice, the Von Erich, Bud Heavy, the 8-second man, Bud Heavy. We've had all these guys. And he's liked every post. He's retweeted a couple. But lately, we've been shit-talking the product. Not in a bad way, just in a way of, you're the mad genius. You literally have one of the best wrestling minds in the business. It's very underrated. And yet, you're doing these sloppy things. Yeah. And it's got to improve and get better. But if you haven't watched Never Say Never, please check it out. Calvin Tankman, Jacob Fatu, 2 300-pounders moving like cruiserweights.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. This match was 25 minutes of everything spectacular that a match should be. The story that was told was incredible. I did not like the ending, and if you want to hear my thoughts as to why, tune into tomorrow's episode. It drops at 12. I don't know when this is dropping, but
tomorrow.
Okay, perfect. Don't drop it at 12 because then we're gonna have
no. I'm not dropping it at
but Never Say Never was a great week. It was a great week, a great hour in wrestling. 3 barn burner matches, 5-star matches, stories that were told were epic, and that's what Court Bauer does. He gives you like 3-4 weeks of subpar stuff, and then he hits you with something sexy, and you're just talking about that for 3 weeks. Oh yeah. And now it's going to be a steady decline before we get that 1 week in April. Like it's the beautiful disaster that is MLW, and the talent pool that they have is incredible. I just wish that Court Bauer would bring in a women's roster. It's overdue, and there are some.
Well, he has Cedar Zhang, the first female to be signed in MLW, but it hasn't been used. Hasn't been used. He's waiting. She's like, I'm MLW, but What's up with that? Okay,
Who's she gonna fight? Who's she gonna fight?
Yeah, who's she gonna fight?
Selena De La Renta? She'll bitch smack that girl all the way back to fucking church.
Yeah.
Like, what's the fucking point? You got to have more women in there, and you got to get more. There's incredible indie talents out there. Anybody that's coming out of Dog Pound Dojo, Maddie Ronkowski,
Yes.
Ray Lynch. She's not out of the Dog Pound Dojo, but I had her on the show. She's an incredible indie talent. There's a lot of women that could do some wonders in MLW given the opportunity, and it's a YouTube show, so why not stretch it out 30 more minutes? 1 hour just isn't enough.
I agree.
Yeah, it's true.
I agree. I definitely agree. And yes, we got the Championship on the Line podcast. Richard and Alex Mares, who also are part of us, when we do the MMA episodes as well, which we'll do in 261. That's in a couple of weeks. But also tune into theirs on YouTube channel and on Spreaker and on Apple Podcasts, Podbean. You can listen to all the audio platforms. They don't also do pro wrestling as well. They also do boxing. They interview boxers. They interview MMA fighters as well. So it's a whole mix of those type of sports. That's very intriguing and very interesting. So if you guys want to listen to them, it'll be the link below as well on this description.
And also, like I just got like 2 text messages that want to be on the show, which is the MMA side, and I'll announce it with the next MMA episode. And I know Chris is gonna be excited for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh shit.
MMA.
Yeah, he's gonna be excited. Yeah, for MMA side, Chris is gonna be excited for it.
Tell me off the air. Is that cool?
No.
Yeah, I'll tell you,
yeah.
I absolutely keep secrets. I promise.
Yes, we do. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. The host is one Ivan C. Of course, with the director, the one and only El Director. Now they're cool. Now I'm happy that George Mckay, Straight Talk from Wrestling, is cool with with Chris. Now I'm glad that it's over. Reunion for life, bro. And of course, the Models of Pain. Same to you guys. Too sweet.
30.
Goodbye, au revoir, and we will see you guys next week.